Adam, a goalless draw at Aldershot the weekend in a game, I think you quite rightly said at full time, probably could have gone either way.
It certainly could. I think both teams, it's quite end-to-end and open towards the end. Both teams tried to win the game, which is, I think, as a neutral fan, I suppose what you want. And yeah, it would have been easy for us to accept a point and set players behind the ball and camped in our half and been difficult to play against. But how we are, we want to try and take the game to opposition, try and win the game, and they obviously were the same as well. So yeah, no team could quite find the decisive goal in the end, but it wasn't through the want to try and that's how we'll continue to be.
Maybe just some poor finishing from both sides, I suppose, especially your side. That long range shooting, is that something you're going to pay extra attention to maybe off the back of Saturday?
It was. I think it's a tough one. We've got to try and get the balance right. Don't want to put added pressure on players, so they're overthinking about it. But at the same time, I think it was 14 attempts and only one on target, which we can go through all our structure of how we want to play. We've got to improve that stat to be more of a threat to the opposition. So yeah, don't want to put pressure on the players. At the same time, we want them to demand more from themselves and play with higher standards. And some of our efforts just weren't good enough. Some of them were difficult, and it's getting the balance right really between letting them know that we need to be better, at the same time them not overthinking about it when game day comes.
I know you didn't come back with the players, but obviously the long journey back, I think they got back. We saw the coach actually have to just drop the players off at about 11 o'clock, something like that. They got back on Saturday night. Any concerns with the long journey and then having to do another, I'm going to say longish, but a shorter journey on Tuesday night?
It's obviously not ideal, but we're not going to complain. Part and parcel of this league is every now and again you're going to get back-to-back away games, Saturday, Tuesday, and you've got to be able to cope with it. And yes, we definitely won't use it as an excuse. There seemed a bit of a tired atmosphere amongst the group today, so I'm hoping they get good rest and ready to go tomorrow. But yeah, I think there's maybe a bit of tiredness and a bit of disappointment that we won't manage to get the 3 points at the weekend. So
I assume then you can't really put too much into the players on a Monday. Was a bit of today maybe about planning for tomorrow and what you're going to do?
It was, yeah. All the starters on Saturday would just done some walkthroughs on what we want for tomorrow, and then they was packed off to the gym and resting and recovering, and a bit more of a session for the ones that needed it really. But even them guys, didn't do anything too strenuous, so that we are ready to go. And like I say, we won't use it as any excuses. All of us know what's expected at this level, and going to Solihull on a Tuesday night, got to be ready for it.
And without giving away your tactics, I imagine it from your perspective, it doesn't change that much on a match by match basis, whoever the opposition is.
No, not too much. I really sort of like some of the bits of the play on Saturday. Like I say, we worked the ball into the opposition third on numerous occasions, and it's just some of our decisions when we got there and our finishing. But there's some good bits of play. Aldershot's a tough place to go. It's they're a good side, and to go there and probably feel like the chances were evenly shared. I thought the keeper made two unbelievable saves. One from us and one from their own player, but he done well to keep it out. And I think when the game's like that, I think the first goal was really important. If we was able to get it on Saturday, maybe the game would have been a bit different, and I'm sure they would have felt the same as well. So yes, lots to take and consider, and lots to improve on from Saturday.
I'm not sure if it was the first time on Saturday, if you did it right at the start of the season. I can't remember where there was no changes in personnel in the outfield players. Because you've now got the 3 games in a week, do you now start to think about rotating 2 or 3 of those players tomorrow night?
We will have to. We've got the squads able to do that. I think it's important we keep it fresh and how we want to play. We want to be on the front foot and press teams and play with high intensity. And in order to do that, you've got to make sure the the players are fresh enough to do that as well. So yeah, it's a really big week for us. Back-to-back away games on the road, and then a real tough game here Saturday. So yeah, I think all players are going to be needed, and want to utilise the squad in all those games if we can.
Is that a way you can maybe have a slight advantage over Solihull tomorrow night? I know they only made 2 substitutions out of the 5 that were allowed at the weekend, and they weren't able to fill their bench. So they clearly don't have as many options as you do at the minute.
Maybe, yeah, but it's all very well having that. They might say that the players playing week in, week out will give them that match sharpness as well. So, yeah, we've got to utilise it, but it's only... you're only able to utilise that if the players that turn up really play with that intensity and that freshness. So it's important that they do that. But yeah, like I say, I'm really happy with the squad we've got, and feel that we're capable to go Saturday, Tuesday now. And yeah, we need to be ready to go because it's a tough ask.
Are Dan Batty and Callum Harriott available to you?
Callum Harriott is, Dan Batty was out, had his boots on for the first time, so he's probably not got enough minutes into his distance into his legs, so it's been probably 10 days now with him training. So I think the sensible option would be to wait till Saturday for Dan, but Callum Harriott will be available for us. Yeah.
Is that another positive because of the options you've got, that you don't have to rush players back if there's any doubt over them?
That's right. I think. Be silly to rush Dan back. He's been so instrumental for us, done such a good start to the season, and we want him back and to stay back. So yeah, he's come through today and ticked that off okay, and then he'll pick up his training towards the back end of the week and ready to go for Saturday. Anyone
who played at the weekend not available? Is everyone okay?
No injury concerns other than Dan Steele and the other guys that have been missing, but squad-wise, yeah, we'll, if anything, gain Callum Harriott to the squad for Tuesday night.
When you're coming against the Solihull side that haven't been at their best looking at their results at home this season, but we know what they can do. We saw them last season finishing the playoffs, almost getting promoted. They still have a decent squad there.
They certainly do. 2 Wembley appearances last year, and know Wingy well. Really good coach and good manager, and yeah, he'll be disappointed with how they started because they set such a high bar last year, but not far away, and they'll be looking to get some results and fast to put themselves in the place that they finished last year as well.
I don't know how much you've watched of Solihull so far this season. Have you been able to put your finger on anything you think may have changed from last year, or do you think maybe their slower start to the season, as so often happens to teams that just fall short the season before, there's sometimes a little bit of a hangover?
Yeah, sometimes that can happen, especially I know this club's knows all about it, but going to Wembley twice and picking up 2 defeats, that can have a big hangover, but I'm sure that, like I say, we need to galvanise the group and be looking to put a couple of runs together. They're not far away from being in the playoff mix as well, so yeah, they're still play with a lot of confidence, I'm sure, and there's still a long way to go, still very early days. We've only just completed 10 games, so if they're still in this position coming towards the back end of the season, then I think it'd be a bit more concern for him, but I'm sure that he's happy with where they are and they can really kick on and progress from the start they've made. Yeah,
we've reached that magic 10 game point of the season. Everyone seems to say, I'll leave it until 10 games to make some sort of judgment on what's happening. You're one of the top 3 sides, you're joint top. So far so good, I would suggest. Relatively pleased, but we just base it on our performances and the squad that we've got, and the scariness and everything that we've got at the group, and that's the next challenge I think for us. Not just to keep on comparing ourselves to last season. We're a new squad, a new group this year, and I want us to set higher expectation and higher demands on ourselves. So that's one of the messages after the game Saturday. Really, it was a tough game. We've got to put under a bit of pressure, and I want the players to, not just be happy with going to Aldershot and getting a point, and demand more and have higher standards and higher expectations. That's what I want from the players. That's what I put on myself, and that's what we want as a group. Actually, about your trip to the Amex yesterday, you couldn't have timed it any better. What a goal! First of all, who taught him how to head the ball like that? Your son Jack.
Honestly, don't know. I don't think it comes from like me or my dad could head a ball too well, and my granddad as well. So it must be my wife's side of the family where he gets that from. But yeah, no, it was great to see. Obviously, nice to be there in attendance, watch a Premier League game, and see his son score. Not gonna lie, it was nice to be there to see it. But yeah, just like we said about setting standards for players, like the first thing he comes back is he says about he could have done better for the second goal, and a bit disappointed and wants to analyse his game and get better and improve. And really pleased that he adopts that kind of mindset and mentality, and that's the kind of mindset and mentality I want our players to start adopting.
I know you were slightly concerned that he may not play. He's played every game, I think, so far. When did you first find out that he was definitely playing?
Just obviously they would have trained Saturday, so sort of see him Saturday night after our game, and he said he was looks like he might be playing centre midfield for his first start there since the Aston Villa game where we started and they lost 6-1, so he would have had that bit of pressure as well. But he sort of showed a lot more signs of what he can do, and I know that's the position that he sees himself in longer term. But he's a player that's just happy to be out on the pitch and playing and do the job for the team.
He's had a bit of publicity as well this weekend because he was on Football Focus. I know Glenn Murray mentioned last week at the Q&A, interviewed him for Football Focus, and then they were talking about him on 5 Live Sport yesterday afternoon ahead of the game. I don't know if you heard it, but they were very complimentary about how well he spoke ahead of that game. So then putting a performance, having had that press and that publicity again, is a massive positive for him.
It is, yeah. Like I say, really pleased with his attitude, his mindset, and everything that he's got. And as a parent, I think we're all proud of our kids, and to see him adapting so well to Premier League football, it's obviously brilliant as a parent to witness.
I appreciate he's still really young, but Brighton do play a relatively similar style to the one that you're trying to implement here. Do you ever talk to him about some of the things that he's learned that you can maybe implement in your game? And when you're sat there yesterday, are you not just watching your son, but you're also watching how Brighton go about it?
Definitely, always a chance to learn. Like I say, don't by any stretch of the imagination think I'm the finished article. I want to learn, I want to improve, and that's what I want from my players as well. And I'm no different. I try to pick his brains. He's a bit reluctant to give out information than what I'd like, but always trying to learn. Got there early, go and watch the warm-ups and watch at half-time, see if they do anything different that we can adapt to our training and our warm-ups and that as well. So it's obviously great to have, and I know Crofty quite well there as well, so I can always pick up the phone to him and get advice and go and watch training and that, which is nice as well.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Obviously, another clean sheet of the club at Aldershot on Saturday. I think a lot's been made of maybe managers saying defence wins your titles, wins your championships. Do you firmly believe that?
Being a defender, me and Gary ourselves, and Tony will definitely buy into that. It's obviously good. We want to keep clean sheets. We want to be a solid team. At the same time, we want to entertain and want to be a threat going the other way. A few of the fans I spoke to in the pub after the game said, I thought we was going to get buzzball with you, Hinch, whatever that means. And I still think we attacked, we went on the front foot. It was an open game towards the end. We just couldn't quite, on the day, find the goal that would have separated the two teams.
I'm saying, you're coming up in a familiar face, I'm guessing, with Andy Wing at Solihull. Am I right in thinking that you were at Brighton at the same time in your playing careers?
Yeah, we were, yeah. We were sort of vying for the sort of same position at right back. He was obviously a lot better than me, played a lot more than me, but I think there was one game he was injured and I filled in for him. So, great guy, Wingy. Really good player. That manager's dream, 7, 8 out of 10 every week. Really consistent, really reliable, and he's doing a great job in his short managerial career so far as well.
Is it always nice to see players that you've played with now being a manager as well?
Yeah, of course it is. Have a good chat with him after, pick his brains on the league. As I know, he's been in the National League a bit longer than I have, so always an opportunity to learn. And good lads that were good pros. You're always pleased to see them doing well in their managerial career as well.
I'm saying, obviously, gave Mo Federa some minutes at Aldershot. Impressed by all accounts. How do you think he went?
Yeah, he did well. 19-year-old lad, his first sort of taste of National League football. He's very direct, picks up the ball, wants to take players on. He's trying to nutmeg people in his own half, which you know you're going to get with a youngster. So it's the rough with the smooth with a young player like that. But you know he's fearless. You can chuck him into any situation. Talking about Premier League football, I think you could chuck him into a Premier League game and he wouldn't. Play no different, wouldn't fear him, wouldn't fear the occasion or anything like that, which is, for a young player, really exceptional to have. And I'm really excited for Mo. I think he's got a lot of ability and a lot of potential, and it's down to us to work with him and work on those little bits where he can improve in our half of the pitch and still give him the freedom and the platform to go and express himself.
I know you just talked there about him having probably a bit of raw talent, quite fearless, just going at anybody. How is he coping with that step up and his first taste of National League football?
He's so far in training been superb. Can see improvement in his game all the time. He has moments where he wows everybody in training with some of his dribbling, and you know he's an exciting player. He picks it up. He likes to take players on, and you know, you can see glimpses of that in the game on Saturday as well. So he's had a good week. He played really well against Leeds, and then he's got his first taste of National League football. So it's a case of you know, not giving him too much too soon and giving him the right opportunities at the right time. I think it's so important with young players, and yeah, like I say, we're really pleased with the progress he's making, and you know, want to carry on that development.
I just wanted to ask you about Roberto as well, sending him out on loan. What are you hoping that he's going to achieve from that?
Again, Leon, probably a tough start to his York City career. Last season when he come in, he probably played when he shouldn't have done with an injury, and then struggled to get fit. And he's trained excellently. He works really hard, but I think he just needs to get away from the club, go and play, and get regular game time under his belt, and we'll reassess where he's at in January. But someone that's got high hopes for at this football club, but you know, sometimes they need to just get away, get playing, find their love back for the game. You know, that you can get if you have had a bit of a rough start. I think he just needs to go and play and enjoy himself, and I think we'll see the best of him once he's done that.
Finally, I wanted to ask you about the new National League Cup. I know that quite a few people at City have hit out against it and really not wanting to take part. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, with these like new competitions, you know, sometimes it's better to have a backwards seat and see how they progress. So yeah, like from our point of view, we've got quite a small, tight-knit squad this year. So we sort of obviously added the game against Leeds, and I think it's something that we can do potentially behind closed doors as a club, go and play you know, more games against our local teams, 21s teams, like you know, hoping to get some games with like Hull, Middlesbrough, Sunderland, and you've got the Sheffield clubs as well. And if we can get a bit of a relationship where we can play them, then we're sort of doing that ourselves anyway. So yeah, you never know how these things are going to pan out, but I think sometimes just taking that backwards seat and see how they develop is not the worst place to be.
And obviously it'll also mean that you can now focus more on the league and also the FA Cup and FA Trophy as well. That's
it, yeah, definitely. Like I say, with a smaller squad, it's so important. You know, big week, Saturday, Tuesday on the road this week, so you know our squad's going to be definitely needed. If you chuck in another midweek game there as well, you know, some weeks it's going to be too much for us. So yeah, like I say, really pleased, and we'll fully focus on you know the league and the two cups, and try and be as competitive as we can in all those fixtures.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.